For the last 7 to 8 years, I have been able to coach more than 71 studios and help them grow. And I can tell you the ones who are standing out are not anymore the ones with the best renderings. They are the ones who know how to establish relationship, how to make a compelling offer. As you might have seen, we have a lot of changes in the financial market and in the real estate market. Plus, we have the AI. Two factors, they came together. The best way to start seeing the changes today is by looking at the life cycle of a project. It all starts with a dream. Then they make the concept. At this phase, they try to see, is it feasible? Can we build it? How much it costs, like approximately? And does it really work? Does it sell somehow? This type of studies happen in the beginning of the project. And after that, when they say yes, then they start developing the design. Then they need to get approvals or present to a client or a group of investors or a jury in case it is a competition. After that, either they build or they need some sort of marketing or pre-sale materials. And then the construction starts. It is a very long period. And at the end, we have handover. Now, I will tell you what you need to do in case your business is dependent on this phase. So the first phase is the feasibility and concept stage. This stage is the most disrupted phase. Why? Because today, architects and developers can generate a concept very quickly, not even in 2 days, in 10 minutes. And the problem with this phase is like, it doesn't really require this high accurate 3D model. From just an image of the plot, you can generate a building out of it and see quickly if this is doable or not. However, it is still a struggle for them to see how much it will cost approximately. Why? Because it is just an image. They don't have an approximate quantity to see how much this would cost. If your business is dependent on this, then definitely you might have seen like a shrinking in the orders from the clients. You have two options. One is to ignore this phase or become the strategic advisor by providing them a way of how to use AI correctly. So you becoming the guide. Those are the two options. Either you ignore it or you become the guide. And your job is to educate your audience on when good enough visuals stop to be good enough. The second phase is design development. This phase is in between. They are still able to make nice and good enough images. However, this is the phase where the transition is happening. Some are saying, okay, we are doing great images, we know how to prompt. However, it is a little bit dangerous because at this phase, accuracy matters a lot. And if your business is dependent on this, then your job is to help your clients hand over the project to you properly. So your job here is to sit with your clients and agree with them on a workflow. On the client side, they are also questioning, should we really pay for a CGI company or an architectural visualization company in this phase? Should we pay the same price we were paying before? So price here is a question. Most of the clients, they are becoming more sensitive toward the price in this phase. The phase after that is approvals and presentations. At this stage, it is absolutely not enough to use AI for this. Any small mistake using AI, it could risk the complete planning submission to be lost. Architects or even developers, they cannot risk this. For this stage, we are still in a safe hand. However, the number of orders is shrinking because they are producing the majority of the visuals before using AI, and they keep only the images that needs to be submitted with the planning approval. In some areas, they still need something called verified images, and verified images is still done without using AI. So for this phase, we are still in a good hand. The next phase is marketing and pre-sale. So marketing and pre-sale, developers are using AI. However, it is not now to the point where you can convince someone to buy a penthouse with 4 million. When the stakes are high, no one is going to risk and use AI just to save a couple of bucks for this. This is the golden phase for us now, but it requires that you have the knowledge of how to make marketing images. Marketing images are different than architectural images. The way of how architects look to the building is different than how a buyer will look to the building. That's why you should know the buyer. An early buyer, an investor, is someone who is buying their second home, third home, or families. There are very different types of buyers, and you should be able to know them, so that you can make images that speak to them. For this phase, we are still in good hands. Construction clients at this phase, they use building information modeling software. They try to simulate how the building will look like, how everything should be constructed, and it happens with many softwares. Apps, they use something called 4D animations. However, at this stage in high-stake projects, virtual tools for reality, also 4D animation done by CGI companies that are already engineers or architects is still required. It's not like a common inquiry, however, there is a lot of money there. The last phase is handover. I know many people don't really look at this phase, but there is a golden treasure in this phase. Only use it to view the building or make sense of the design. They also use it in the facility management. It is not well known. However, many of my clients are doing it and the stakes are really high here. Plus, if you are talking about real estate, all type of selling apartments or units that are sitting on the market, then it becomes very useful to provide some sort of virtual tools or virtual reality tools online. I just highlighted the things that you really need to focus on. The one on the right, the handover, is like a potential thing. If you don't do anything interactive, maybe it is something you consider for the next 2-3 years. Marketing and pre-sale is definitely something. It requires that you increase your knowledge into how to market to different types of audiences. And if you want to know who is commissioning for these projects, comment map I will send to you afterwards. The thing is, it is very clear, the higher the stake, the higher the human dependency will be. Most studios, they are still talking to clients who are doing low value projects in some disrupted markets like interior designers. And the things that I would like to focus on, anything that is government contract, definitely you do need to have contacts there. Hospitality, urban design, and infrastructure, those are the higher stake. Also, it's not easy to target them. However, it is worth it. Now, the question is how to go after these markets. There is a formula. I use it with all my clients that I help, which is market plus phase plus offer is exactly your positioning. When I say market, it could be projects is one, your clients where they are located is two, and it could also be the profession. Like, what do they do? Do they submit competitions? Are they developers? Are they investors? Are they engineers? Country is one and project is two, because you could be in Germany and designing a project in Saudi, and those are two different markets. But like, you cannot say I'm working in Saudi. Yes, and you are doing projects in Saudi and you understand the environment, but your client is German. So market is important to get clear on it. Then see in which phase I can be most valuable to my clients. And at the end is the offer. How can I offer my clients a group of things so that they see you as a partner more than as a vendor, or as a consultant, as a guide, more than just an order taker? This combination is literally separate the studios that grow from the one who are scrambling. In case you are interested in these three things, your positioning, which phase is best for you, which market is better for you, and how to offer your service in that phase for this market, then feel free to join us in the Mastermind. It's happening between May 22 and 24, and it will be in person in Karlsruhe, Germany. We will work on your positioning, where you are now, where to move, and the best fit market for your skills, and how to offer, how to package everything to price, reach out, how to make your sales meetings. And you will work alongside other studios and the two guest speakers, Fabio Palvelli and Lassi Rode. It is 3 days building the plan. We will have a book. There will be sessions with me before the Mastermind, and there will be follow-up sessions after the Mastermind. The most important part here is that you have an actionable plan based on what is working in the market today. And most importantly is you apply. And in the year after, you come back as well and you share with others how things are growing. That is the only space, I think, in our industry that talks mainly for 3 days about business. Never really ignore this shift. The market is shifting. It is your move. We will have a different session next week, and we will speak about going to a new market. So one of the topics in the Mastermind is going to be expansion. Expansion, not in the same market, in a new market, and how to go there, online and in person. I have a couple of case studies. Some of them, they will be here. And Fabio Palvelli, he will share the experience from the Digital Bunch, how they went to Saudi Arabia. Thank you very much, everyone. See you next week and stay healthy. If you have any questions, comment. Goodbye.